wholesaling conversation. So it looks like you are transparent with wholesaling if that's the direction you are going to take. What's the best way to talk about that with the seller? And this, I put on here, it goes back to our elevator pitch, our elevator speech that we talked about, and just being open. Now, I'm going to pause for a second when we talk about wholesaling. Wholesaling is basically you get a property under contract, and then either you assign, which means you sell that contract to another investor, or you do something called a double close, which means you actually physically buy that property and then physically resell it within a quick time frame, and you basically sell that property. A double close is a little bit more expensive because you have two, closing costs and things like that. Assigning the contract is just simply selling the right to buy that property to somebody else. So if Jason gets a house under contract for $100,000, he says, hey, I have a great deal. This property, you can buy it, flip it, and sell it, and there's like $50,000 in profit. I'm going to sell this contract to you for $5,000. I pay $105,000 at the time of closing. He gets his money, and I get the property, and I'm now the new buyer. Pausing for a second, a lot of times, if you're not transparent with the seller and they get wind of it, they may feel a little slighted, and money can kind of make people a little bit uncomfortable. And what I mean by that is they may feel like, oh, well, if there was this extra $5,000 in it, why should they get it? And why should I not get $105,000 if it was worth $105,000? Now, if any of you have sold a personal property, say that you have your own personal house. So just picture and imagine you're sitting there, you're getting ready to sell your own house. You have it under contract for $500,000. You have this buyer, it's been under contract for 60 days. Say today's Wednesday, you're closing on it on Friday because you're moving to a bigger house or whatever your scenario is. Say that they come to you today on Wednesday and they say, listen, bad news. Yeah, I can't buy your house. And we're sitting there totally ticked off because we have a buyer, we have the amount we want, and we have Friday is going to be the closing, and we're totally mad. But if they followed up with saying, but I can't buy it on Friday, but what I'm telling you is I have a really good friend named Bob. Bob is actually going to come in and take my spot. Bob is going to be there on Friday at the closing table, just like I was going to be. He's going to buy it on Friday for $500,000. Everything is going to be same as usual. It's just going to be Bob and not me. Would any of you be mad? And I would say the majority of people would say, not really, because I'm still getting my $500,000. I'm still closing on Friday. No big deal. That's what wholesaling is. Somebody just comes in and takes your spot. But suddenly when there's a financial amount, so say that we don't know that Bob actually is going to spend $550,000 on it, and he's giving me $50,000. Yeah, that may make them a little bit upset. But I told them from day one, remember that initial elevator speech conversation where we said there are some times where maybe I just took on another project and I don't have the manpower to take on another project. And I'll remind them, remember I told you that there's some times where I can't take on another project, but I work with very good investors in the area that can come in and I can refer it to them and they could come in and take my place. I had told you that initially from day one. And the last thing I want to do is say, I can't buy your property. Sorry about your luck. I found a replacement. And so just let them know, I wasn't able to take on the project initially when I got it under contract. I had the full intention of being there, but things had changed in circumstances. I got held up on another project, but I found Bob and he's willing to come in and he's going to be buying it at the same price on the same day that we negotiated. So just explain it to them on simple terms. Don't say it on the investor terms of, yeah, he's going to be giving me 50 grand. I'm going to be making a lot of money. No, that wasn't your goal. Your goal getting it under contract, your intention was to rehab that property, but certain things have changed in the meantime. You told them that the property would sell on this day for this amount, and it still will. So end the discussion. If they don't want to do that, I mean, yeah, you can cloud the title, you can put a lien. Some people can do some different things on their, on the title of the property. I mean, you can get lawyers involved and things like that if they try walking away from the deal, but really the house is being sold when and for the amount that you discussed, and they shouldn't be upset about that.